hardly to be found. So what do we have? The people who are egoistical but get possessed. So these possessions take charge of your ego and they work through your ego. So they are much more dangerous than the ordinary tamasikas. You see, an ordinary tamasika who even gets possessed, he dies very soon. Otherwise, he troubles himself. He gets body pains. He gets all those troubles himself. But when a person who is egoistical is also possessed, then he becomes a troublesome person. In India, if people drink, you'll be surprised, they become very nice people, extremely mild, very quiet, very good. I mean, some women told me we want them to drink because they're better. But not here, they become violent. Why? Because there is already the base for the ego, and these fellows who jump in from the left side or right side, whatever it is, take over the ego. And they work through the ego then. So such people become cruel, assertive. I mean, all Germans were dealt like that. They were all possessed by supraconscious brutes, and they all behaved in this atrocious manner. Imagine any human being killing millions of people with the gas chamber. Can you think of it? I mean, you can't even say a little chicken being cut in your presence. How can you see so many people just there being gassed before you, trying to get out of the gas chambers? And they were all transparent so you could see them. See the cruelty to which they could go. How? They were possessed and possessed by egoistical temperament. So these roots also use their ego and it. So we are in the center. We are the people who have ascended to God's level. We have no business to have left Vishuddhi on any point. We have no ego. Where is the ego? It's finished. Where is the superego? Finished. So if there is even a lurking thing of that, you just face up to it. Why do you feel guilty? For what? Nonsense. And that's how you get rid of it. Because I've seen with Sahajogis also, suddenly their nose will blow out, their eyes will come out, suddenly they'll talk like this and I get a fright. I said, what's the matter? He was a normal person, why is he talking like this now? The reason is that hidden ego suddenly jumps up and shows. It's with many Indians also, those who are city dwellers are horribly egoistical. You have blessed them as I told you, so they also behave in the same manner. But because there is tradition of keeping in the center in any country, like China has the same, I have seen China has the same. I haven't seen they ever say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And they don't even discuss. Say Russians have been so bad to them. It's all right. We tell them, we ask them, why did you cut off from the Russians? Forget it. They never criticize. Sit down and criticize they did like this or sulk about it or think about nothing. Like Indians now, you will be surprised. We have a law that we are not supposed to make any films against the English. Can you imagine? Because they left our country in grace. Even Shivaji's pictures are not allowed because maybe it will show that the Muslims are bad. To that extent we go. Because forget it. When you start thinking about that person, your ego gets hit. It is an ego which is hurt. Now you can blow this balloon by two methods. Perhaps you know that. By blowing into it or removing all the air from outside. Or even by hitting. So the hurt ego is where the outside is getting vacated and the balloon is increasing. And the other ego, pumped up ego, is that when the balloon is filled with that air. Both things are just the same. I mean, the result is the same, whether you do it this way or that way. So once you understand the physical manifestation of this, not only that you develop all these diseases, but also develop a thing called lunacy at a very, very young age, because you don't know how to cope with yourself. So the best way is to, if you have done something, forgive yourself at that point. I forgive myself at this point. All right. And that, this was done because of this. All right. So I could not have done this. Never, I am not going to do it again. Just say like that. Just absolutely neutralize. Unless and until you neutralize it, you again store it up there. That's the point. Secondly, I have to tell you that the women in the West have changed their styles, which is very, very dangerous for their society, because they have also taken to the egoistical ways of men. So if men have gone, say, 10 feet, they have run after them again about, say, 8 feet and pulled back men even to go further than that. Now this is completely crossing your egos, because women do not have such possibility of egos normally. So competing men in ego, what you did, you have lost your complete maryadas of a woman. There's no maryada of a woman. Man has a maryada of a man. If a man starts behaving like a woman, he is not a man. In the same way, the women, if they start behaving like men, then they are no more women. They have lost their maryadas, they are out, so they get possessed. And that's why women, when they are egoistical, they become horrid. Their faces become horrid, they look horrid, their whole behavior is horrid. They can become dry like bean sticks, you see, and could be so hard as to hit you like an iron rod. They say the lady with the iron rod in her hand. All this happens because we have a maryada. We are the style as we are. If it's a rose, it's a rose. Be happy that you are a flower of rose. Now the rose wants to become the thorn. So we lose all our maryadas. Today I will be speaking to you before we start this here, when the people are coming, before that, to the ladies and tell them what's gone wrong with them. And that is how you must know that the plight of the West is not by men but by women. Women have ruined the society of Western society. It's the Indian women who have kept the society intact. All my really thanks to their solid behavior towards life. It is the women of this country who have ruined all that was so delicate, emotional, beautiful, love, affection, compassion. Women are there to give joy and happiness and emotional security to the whole society. While they take over, do this, give that, do that. Even the husbands have become just like servants in the house. You haven't done the cleaning properly, you haven't cleaned the kitchen properly. I went to England, I was surprised, all kitchen cleaning and all that is so well done in England. You see, you have everything for cleaning this, cleaning that. I said, why it has happened? It's the men, you see, they had to do it, so they found out all the ways and methods. Has to be sparkling, all right. Sparkling you want, I'll get you such a thing that if you put in your hand will burn. All the acid is put everywhere. With a big glove in the hand, put it everywhere, right? And everything gets on. Then the children, you see, suffer. Because that's the job of a gardener. Beautiful things that are born, to be looked after with that kindness. But you overindulge into your children in the beginning. A mother is like a gardener. She has to prune also. She has to cut also. So the growth is all right. If your child is spoiled, you are no good a mother, useless you are. But you groom your husband, not your children. Just the other way around. Because ego is towards your husband, all the time grooming. Sit here, go there, what this money business, give me all the money, I keep all the money, everything. Now one may say that the law is such. If the law is stupid, the Sahajoginis should not take to such a law. That law has ruined you all, I tell you. Because this is such an important part of life. It is such an important area of life that it should not have suffered. Where affection, love, kindness, all that is required is missing, then you become people without any meaning. Life is aimless. You don't know what to do. That's why the children commit suicide. And then the love should be such that it should be proved. For that you must have wisdom, which also one does not develop, because if you run after your Muladhara Chakra, how can you have wisdom? Here men have befooled you completely. Completely they have befooled you. Take it from me. You must keep your wisdom intact. And not only that they have befooled you, but they themselves have stooped down to befool you. So they have their devious methods, they are not straightforward. So, as Sahajogis, we are above all these things. We have reached a state where we are above. We are here for correcting all those things that have gone wrong in the society, because Sahajoga faces towards the society, not towards yourself only. So at this stage we have to understand what we have to do is, first of all, our own understanding should be such. Even now, with all this movement of Sahajoga understanding, women don't realize that they have to be like women. I have seen that. They still, what's wrong? Still go on. And men don't understand that they have to be like men, even after so much. And if they become really like men, women will appreciate them. And if you become really like women, men will appreciate you. You see, it's the opposites that attracts each other. That should be normal. But we live in an abnormal way that the men are women and women are men. What do you do now? So it is very important for men to understand now, because I am going to talk to women later on, that they should become like men. They must fix up things. They must take decisions. They must be the one who must rule. But that's outward. Actually, it's the source. Is the woman. The woman is the potential and man is the kinetic. For example, there is a fan moving. Movement of the fan is the kinetic force, we can say. But the potential force that is within us is the one which is the electricity which is coming from the source, which is higher. The fan that moves or the source. Let the women decide and men understand. But if that source dries out and wants to become the fan, no fan will work. Upside down situation. If you realize you are the source, you are the one who is going to give all the Shakti to man. You will stop behaving like men. It doesn't mean that you cannot go to work, you cannot do, but take to work which is more suitable to women. Like I would not like a woman to have a bus driver's job, or a truck driver, or wrestler. No, I'm not telling, I'm telling from experience. Once I was traveling, I was a student at that time in Lahore, you see, and I was traveling by train. And at some station, you see, the train stopped in the night. And a lady came. And she said, open the door for me. So I said, it's so crowded, all right, I'll try. And she said, if you don't open, I can break it. I said, how can you? She said, you don't know who I am? I said, who? She said, I'm Hamida Bano. I said, who's Hamida Bano? The wrestler lady. Oh, Baba. I said, thank God. I'll open. I said, if you are a wrestler lady, why are you coming in the ladies' department? Why don't you go to the men's? And she pushed the door so violently she came up, I looked at her, I said, wow, what a person. And she sat down, with the whole her countenance and everything, her whole gait and state of sitting, everything was so manly like that. She sat down and said, now come along now. Those who want to say, I should not sit here. I said, nobody wants that. Now, madam, you sit comfortably. But we'll have to get somebody from the other compartment to have wrestling. And then she was quiet. And she was really, I saw her, all her muscles so overdeveloped, and she was really looking like, I would say, a western cow, we can say. Like the cows here look like buffaloes, not like cows. Something very funny, I cannot forget that. You see, that experience, I was very young and I was really, I didn't know, felt like laughing, but I couldn't even laugh. I thought she'll box my. So this is what it is, that we are ending up there, must know that. How far are we going? Are we going to become wrestlers? So this is what it is. One has to learn that it has been there for ages. Ages it has been there. I have seen, I've read books, some books, old books, I've seen some films also, where they have shown, even in olden times, the women used to have broom in their hand, sitting their husband sort of thing. We do have some of them, blessed in India, but there are very, very few women like that. Not a big number. But it may increase, God knows. See? So keep your fingers crossed. But I would say that this is what is happening. So with too much ego of man, which goes into left Shuddhi, they say not, let the women take over. It's all right, let them be satisfied. No more of their aggression. Let them have their own. So they do what they like. Men are not bothered. And they go into their left, this thing. There's no enjoyment of marriage or love. So now we have yesterday the other marriage, for the benefit of your children, for the goodness of them, all that. Take your roles as women and men. Your roles are as women and men, and you will see you'll enjoy it. The quarrel should be on that role. The man wants to do something for you, should say, no. How can you do? That's too much for me. Let me do this work. As I have told you many a times how my husband, when he gets angry, he wants to wash his undershirt, you see, to show he's angry. Or when he's very angry, then he will clean the bathroom. But he does it so badly that I know that he has done. I feel like laughing, but I dare not, because I must keep his spirit on. And then he starts talking in a very, you see, respectable way to everyone. Thou, he calls everyone thou, you see, thou. He says, thou are like that, thou are like that. So I know now he's really angry for something. But he won't say what is he angry with. See, then we have to find out what is he angry with, and if so, don't feel guilty, correct it. And then he finds, you see, there are so many ways of neutralizing the anger. The first thing that happens with ego is the anger. As yesterday you got married, you must know how to neutralize this, because still ego is there. Now to find out how to neutralize the anger of another person is a very beautiful thing, which I have never seen your writers handling, but in India we have many writers who have handled this situation. Now you must find out what are the weak points of your husband, first of all, and of your wife. On what points she gets upset. Now the attitude should be, we should not upset her, we should not make her angry, and another attitude of the wife the same way. Much more for the husband. So now what are the soft points on which he really gets upset? Just study. It's very simple. I laugh at it. Don't take it seriously, but be careful to avoid that. Now also find out what makes him happy. Like if I'm really, sometimes I never get angry, as you know that, I never get angry. But if I am showing off my anger, just let it be, it's all right, sit down. He understands, Sergio? Right. So, now how to show that, how to neutralize an anger of a person. Say now, supposing I am trying to show, if you put a child in my lap, finished, anger is gone. I cannot show anger with a child on my lap. It's simple. So you must find out. Like my husband, you see, if he is angry, supposing, I know him, then if I tell him that, what about getting me a nice sari? Oh, finished. Then he is very happy. He's saying, oh, I have done him the greatest favor. See, like that. You see, you must find out what thing pleases your husband, what thing pleases your wife, and neutralize it. And you see, little things like that you must learn. This is the art of living. This is the art of living is a yogi life. The art of living is how with little few things, you see, how manage. Now you must have seen how in my lecture I say quite serious things, but in your bubbles of laughter, it just settles down in your mind. That's how you should do it. Because humor is one of the greatest things that puts the thing through, makes the person understand, and it doesn't harm anyone. That's how things improve. And when you see that you are settled down in peace, that's the first thing a husband wife must do, is to settle down in peace. Children feel all right. Everyone feels all right. And then gradually let it correct. You have no responsibility of correcting each other.